Hey guys, welcome. It's Marcy, the Cranky Crafter. Happy Monday. We are going to be, well, it's what we're doing today is for my nature journal, but it's kind of like a little bonus piece. I learned how to do this from Liz over at Buttons for Brains. So if you haven't been to her channel, I highly recommend going over there and checking it out. But we're going to be making a little, I don't know if it's called like an accordion booklet or a concertina. I think it's a concertina, but I don't know. There's no rules, so it's just whatever you want to call it. But what we're going to be doing is I got these finally stamp sets from Paper Artsy, and these are ones that Alison Bomber made. If you've not watched her do her art, she is amazing. If you are drawn to a lot of nature inspired things, she's your gal. I will link her channel below, and she's also on many of the social media platforms, and I think she does, well, I know she did fodder school as a teacher, and I think she's doing other classes as well. But I finally let myself purchase a couple of these sets. They're a little bit spendy in my opinion, but well worth it because they're beautiful. So this one is cone flowers, and this one is summer poppies. They're rubber stamps. Just gorgeous. So what we're going to be doing is, let me see, I've made a few already so that we, just as a time saver essentially. But we're going to be making these with the stamps and our distressed ink pads. This is watercolor paper. I suppose you could use mixed media or whatever you have on hand. Since distress inks incorporate water a lot of the time, I chose to use watercolor paper just so it would absorb it a little bit better. So this is what we're making. This is like basically the focal point. I have a couple of them already like laid out and glued onto cardstock just for the sake of time. I did do a little bit of embellishing, but quite honestly, I wanted the flowers to be the main statement, so I didn't do a ton of background stuff. So we have this one, and this is just cardstock that I've used, and then like book pages or vintage ledger pages, like these are some printouts from Scrimping Mommy. And then here's another one. This, you can see, has a little bit of a ragged edge. Doesn't bother me at all. In fact, I don't know how much we'll actually see it, but I was thinking about doing it all ragged edge, but the cardstock isn't fantastic at doing that. And I wanted something sturdy as the base, so I just decided to go with straight edges and then bring in my torn bits for the background. So this is what we're going to do. I have 3 of these basically watercolor cutout sheets. I can't talk today, you guys. I did all my chores so that I would have, time to sit down and play for a little bit. I have some watercolor paper already cut out. The sizes don't have to be the same, quite frankly. And we are going to go to the sewing machine later, so I'm going to have to pause you for that because I don't have a camera over there. I'm not bougie that way. So I got my stamp pad. See, I told you I have menopause brain super bad today. What is this? My stamping block. I have that. And I have some distress inks. Now I will say, you can use the larger ones. I find the smaller ones work. They're easier to manipulate. And I did do a couple of them with the distress oxides. This is a distressed oxide one. And I believe this is a distressed oxide. There's not too much difference really. The distressed inks, you get like a more vibrant and the ability to kind of move it a little bit easier. But I think they both turn out beautiful. Like I feel like the distressed inks, the oxides, have a little bit more of a matte look to them, but I think that's because they have the pigment in them. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna choose a flower. I think we're just gonna choose one of these, and you're gonna put it right there on your little stamp pad. You might want to kind of like check out how you're gonna, lay it out before you commit to it, just so you have an idea of how it's gonna look on your paper, but you'll see what I mean as we get going. And then you're gonna choose some colors. I think I'm gonna go with Abandoned Coral, Festive Berries, and maybe this ripe, what is it? Persimmon. And then I want something for like the little middle bits, and then also something for the stem. So I've got peeled paint and then this gathered twigs. So now this is like one of those things where you don't really know how it's going to look until you actually do it. So I'm going to put I'm just going to go right on the stamp, and I did my stem in the green, and then for the center I'm going to do that brown color, which is gathered twigs, and I might actually come in on top with a little bit of yellow. This is Wild Honey. And then I'm just going to use the colors that I chose and kind of stamp the rest of the flower petals. This is like a, sorry, it's kind of noisy because this block isn't, it like kind of bounces. It's not like even, if you know what I mean. These are all going to blend together sort of once we add the water. So we have our colors all stamped on, and then you're just going to spritz it with some water. And then you're going to come in. I'm going to kind of do like a half one, or more than a half, I guess. Hopefully. And can you see that? Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Isn't it so pretty? And then I do have a little container of water over here, and I've got a couple of brushes. These happen to be my watercolor brushes, but you can use whatever. This is a size 4. So what I'm going to do is put some of this green down on my craft mat because I want to extend this stem. And you can do these in any color, right? Like as you saw the ones that I showed you. I was trying to do many different colorways. Just do ones that speak to you, that make your heart happy, because that's what we're here for. And then I just kind of put some on my craft mat. I think you can see it over here to the side, and kind of drop color in if I feel like it's not moving as much as I'd like. At this point, it's kind of like working with watercolors because you're basically reactivating it every time you move it around. So I'm going to get some of my yellow because I want to add some more to the middle there. I'm just coming in with like dots. Now, I like to drop in more color. This is really where you get to play and make it super fun you know, how you would, like what colors you gravitate towards. See, I think that's beautiful. I think I'm gonna get a little, I guess I already have some green out. Yeah. I know that Alison did these on her channel. I just used a wipe to clean that off. And then I'm gonna get, let's see, whoops. Yeah, I might do another one like that. You could just do a single one. You could do doubles. You could do, you know, if you had a bigger paper, you could do 3. For these two, I'm gonna try to stay in the same colorway. So I'm just putting some yellow and brown there in the center. I'm gonna come in with my green for the stem. What I was saying is I'm sure that Alison over on her channel has done this with her stamps. That's where I got the inspiration from, because she is so amazing with her colors. She kind of gravitates towards blues, but she uses all colors, but she just, I feel like that's one that she gravitates towards. Let's see, how do I want this? I need to come back to the center, sorry. Oh, that one, that's just almost all the way off the page. Bring this. Like that. Geez, I should have brought it closer. That's okay. Wonder if I could do a third bit with just this side. Let's try it, see what happens. Maybe down here. Now I got two barely flowers. And then whatever color you want to drop in, you know, this one is the abandoned coral. Just add it to your mat or whatever you're working on so that you can get a little bit more color in. I just think they're beautiful, but of course I love anything that's watercolor, so. And then I like to do some splatters. I think I'm gonna do this color. Ooh, that's bright. And I might do some more yellow. Like that. And that one is done, and it's gonna need to dry. We'll move on to another one. And then I just have a wipe over here to clean my stamps off as I go. Okay, next one. Let's see, what colors do we want to do? I know this video is gonna probably be a little long. Hopefully I'll be able to save some time once I have to pause to go and use the sewing machine. So stick with me, because it's going to be gorgeous at the end. Because we're going to sew everything together and make a little booklet. Let's see, what do we want now? Maybe purple? You want like purple? No, you know what? Let's do these. Let's do turquoise. What's this? Mermaid Lagoon, Salty Ocean, evergreen bough. Let's try that. And we'll use the other one. Let's see. Do this one. Do it like that. So I'm going to do my green for the stem. And then I'm just going to come in with my colors. See, that was evergreen. This is salty ocean. And then this turquoise mermaid lagoon. We'll see how it looks. Wet it. If you want to do it this way, let's do it this way. Oh, so pretty. And then I just extend the stem like that. And then wet my brush, come in and kind of move the color around. You don't even have to do this bit if you don't want to. If you just like the outline, leave it like that, because that's pretty too. What do we think? I think we need a little bit of, whoa, yellow. Wild honey. Then you can drop it in just like if you were doing, you know, traditional watercolors. Okay, that's pretty. Okay, let's choose another one. Maybe this one. To see where that's gonna go. Maybe it can go like that. I'm trying to remind myself to stay in frame. We drove to a little town yesterday about an hour from our house to go to their farmer's market. I wanted to pick up, there's a small business there that sells shampoo and conditioner bars, and I love them, so I wanted to go and do that. And oh yes, look at that, so pretty, you guys. And you could use you know, you could come in and embellish with like gold too if you wanted, gold watercolors or paint pens, whatever you have. That would be beautiful too. So yeah, we went to this. It's about an hour and 10-minute drive, I think. And you have to pass a paper mill. I got too much water on there. I don't want that much. Have you guys ever driven past a paper mill? I don't know why, and you're probably gonna think I'm nuts, but I have always loved the smell. I don't know why. Part of it is because it reminds me of when we used to live in Georgia. We lived in Georgia just for a short bit when I was like middle school years. And there was a paper mill there. And quite frankly, I don't remember, did I enjoy it, or do I now enjoy it because, you know, it has memories attached to it? I'm not sure. But we have to drive by it to get there. And my husband does not enjoy it. And so I make sure to roll down the windows whenever we go. I know, I'm kind of ornery that way. That's really pretty. Okay, let's do some splatters. Which colors should we do? Yellow, I know. And we stopped in this bookshop. I've been looking for like nature, just nature books that I can cut out of. But the trick is I want it to be, isn't that pretty? I want them to be matte colored. I want them to be matte pages. I don't want glossy. And that is proving to be very challenging. Okay, we got one more. And then we can start putting them on the paper. Let's see what, whoa, hitting the light. What colors do we want to do this time? Do we want, how about just like yellow? What do we think about this? Wild honey, fossilized amber, and ripe persimmon. Let's do that. And I'm going to go back to this. Okay. I'm going back to the cone flowers. So we got the shampoo and conditioner bars, and my husband loves any kind of baked goods, so he got these monstrous huge cinnamon rolls. They were absolutely enormous, and I'm not huge into that, but I do love a good cookie, so I got I got a brown butter chocolate chip. Ooh, it looks like a sunflower. Look at that. And I also got, I got this very autumn inspired ginger rye cookie. It's kind of like a ginger snap almost, but it's made with rye flour, which I thought was kind of cool. And it's chewy, you know, not like ginger snaps, I feel, are usually more crunchy, but this was like a big, like yummy chewy cookie. It was good. I mean, I haven't eaten the whole thing yet. I can't have a lot of sugar at once, so I had a bite of both, and then I'll look forward to it later with some hot tea. But we stopped in this bookstore, you guys. It gave me anxiety. I love a good book, don't get me wrong. Well, yeah, I was talking about this already, right? When I was looking for the nature books. We went into this used, well, they have new books too, but I would say the majority are used. You guys, the books, they were just piled. No, I'm not even kidding you. Just in piles everywhere. There were some on shelves, but the majority of the books literally just piled like floor to ceiling. How do you even look? I don't even know. It gave me so much anxiety. I ended up asking him if he had, you know, things that I was looking for, and he did not. Whoops. Have absolutely no idea how he knew what he had in that store. I don't like that one. I mean, I like it, but I don't like the angle of it. We'll use this one. I don't know how he knew where anything was in that store. And guaranteed, huge fire hazard. Absolute, extreme, 100% fire hazard. I just couldn't. Finally, I'm like, okay, we got to get out of here. I'm like, just in any frame, anywhere on here. I get going and then I forget that I have to make sure I'm in frame. I apologize. But yeah, so the books were, how is he even in business like that? Clearly it's working for him, because the advertisement, like there was like a poster kind of thing in there, and it said that they've been working since like 1973. And I'm like, has it always been like this? Maybe it used to be different and now it's just like this. I can't know. But what I did know was it set my anxiety meter off something fierce. So we had to remove ourselves from the vicinity. Okay, those are done. Done. Now that I've got a huge mess, let me pause you and clean up a minute. Okay, these are the ones we did. They're pretty much dry. I have 2 pieces of cardstock here ready to go. And what we're gonna do now is, let's see, this one, yes, this one and this one go on here. This one and this one go on here. One's front and one's back. And what I want to do now is, I've got some like book pages and music sheets, some scrap stuff, got some washi. Set this one aside. So we want this to be mounted like this, but I want, let's do like music paper on the back of this one. Like I said, I don't want it to be too busy with embellishments because I want the flowers to be the focal point. So I'm going to do that. I've got my glue stick. I'm going to glue this down. And then for the actual watercolor paper, I'm going to use our glitter glue because I need something that's gonna hold it well. Before I do that though, I think I've got this, like, I don't know, it's just a generic like background stamp. And then I have my, what is this? Vintage photo. I just want to come in here and just lightly add a little bit. You don't know how much you're actually going to see once, you know, once everything's glued into place, but and then just try to make it as straight as you can, like that. And then on Alison's, oh goodness, on Alison's stamps, she also has like some background stamps. This is like a, I don't know, little postage mark looks like. I'm gonna do some of that too. Not terribly a lot though. Okay, so far so good on that. And then this one is gonna go on the back side. So now the only thing to keep in mind, at least this is how I do it, is I try to make it so that they're somewhat centered with each other, if that makes sense, because I'm gonna stitch and it would be nice if they could hit both of them at the same time, but it might not, and that's okay too. So for this one, I think we'll do some of this vintage paper like that. And you could probably ink this, you know, the edges if you wanted. Did I remember to do that? No. No, I didn't. And then that will go like, might do one of these on camera and then pause for the other one, just so I'm not making this super long for you guys. And this bit, you know, is however, like whatever embellishments you want to add is going to be great. We'll see how this works. Might only get stitches. Well, we'll see how it goes. What do I want to do now? A little bit of stamps, maybe. And then I have, oh, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. This one says like postcard, which I thought was kind of cute. I do like that. What do we think about that? Front and back. Might be a little bit haphazard when we go to sew it, but we'll deal with that when it happens. Okay, I'm gonna do this other one and then I'll be back. Okay, so we got these glued on, did some music paper behind that one and just a book page behind that one, and then did a little bit of stamping and the same kind of thing for this one. Now I think it needs a little bit something more, so I have my washi over here, and just looking to see think this might look nice. If I can get it off. There we go. This is just like to add some texture. I tend to go kind of neutral, but you know, if you like bright colors, then by all means do that. There's absolutely zero rules. So that's that one. This one I think I could use maybe this one that has like a little bit of blue. And it's got like gold foil on it, which is pretty. That. And then see what we got on this side. Maybe that. Kind of like this. It's like a graph paper look to it. Again, very neutral. Very neutral friendly. Okay. And then this one, I was kind of thinking this, but I feel like it almost needs a little bit of color maybe, but we'll do this one. It's kind of like a peachy. I think you'll be able to see the gold the most with this tape. There we go. Okay, that bit's done. Now, so we ended up with four of these little jobbies. And so the next bit is to sew. I'm gonna sew along the watercolor paper part. Okay, so I'm gonna have to pause you for that, and hopefully that goes well. It'll be what it's gonna be. Okay, so I got these all sewed around. Now, this is actually the side I sewed on, and then this is the back. I don't mind that it's like the back of the stitch. It doesn't bother me. This one didn't like hit the edge because this front one is bigger, but again, that doesn't bother me. I think it just adds texture to it. This was the same. It went way beyond the edges. And then this one was pretty good. It went, literally went right along the edge of that, but that's good. Okay, so the next bit, I have my archival ink over here and my stamp block again. On the stamp collections, there's actually words in here as well. And so I wanted to add some on each of the flower sheets before we put it all together. So I don't really have like, you know, not partial to like which word goes on which one necessarily. I just think it's fun to have the texture on there. I like it. I like it. This one says summer. I don't know what all she's got on here. This one is carefree. Well, that's a little crooked. It's fine. That's fine. It's this one. sunshine. That's fun. And then flip it over and we'll do ones on the back. What we got? I don't know what that one. What's that say? Dancing? And what's this one? Dreamy and magical light. A dreamy and magical light. We've already done that one. Don't do it twice, Marcy. Ooh, that's fun. Sorry, you see my arm over here. Dancing. What's the rest of this one? Oh. Dancing in the breeze. Totally off frame again. Okay, we got one more. One more. What's on the back? Carefree. Let's do another sunshine. And sunshine. Okay, that bit is done. Whoops. Holy moly. Sorry. So now the next bit is to stitch these guys together. And I think I don't want these yellow ones as close together. There we go. I think that's okay. I know I'm kind of off frame because I can't fit it all. I can't fit it all. I don't mind the little threads. Might trim them when we're done, but I don't mind them. Okay, so I have this fabric. It's like a canvasy, almost like, feels like a, I don't know, almost like an upholstery kind of fabric. I got it at like the thrift shop. I don't need this whole length. In fact, I might be able to get 2 of these. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of glue them down at first. So you wanna leave a little space in between so that they have room to fold. So we're going to glue those down first, and then we're going to flip it and glue some to the other side. And then 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to stitch again. So I'm just going to use my glue stick. Now, if you want to see like a professional do this, I suggest going over to Buttons for Brains because she's a professional. This is a cranky crafter, not professional. So I'm just kind of gluing it to tack it down, if you will. Maybe glue would hold it all together, but I don't trust it to hold it all together, like forever. If you have faith in your glue, then maybe you don't need to stitch it, but we're going to be stitching mine. Okay, this is going to be the tricky bit. You think we could do it all in one? 1, 2, 3. Oh, not bad. Not bad. Okay. I can put this away. I can put my art glitter glue away. And then kind of the same on this side. Are you guys still with me? hopefully. I'm gonna have to like scrub everything to get glue off. I am so sticky right now. Sticky, sticky. That one more. Okay, now I'm gonna have to pause you and stitch these. Here's the thing. I don't know how, much you guys do stitching, but it doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, it's not gonna be perfect. Let's just say that. But that's okay because that's part of the character. I'll be right back. Okay, we did it. Look at all these stringy bits, but we did it. And it folds out. I don't know if I can go out further so you can see it all. And then you can just fold it up whichever way you like. Cut off some of those threads if you want to. And if you feel like you need to add, a little bit more, I don't know, washi or whatever, feel free to do that. Like if you just think it needs a little bit more, sometimes you can look at something and just see that it needs something a little bit more. And maybe you sit with it for a little while and then decide that it needs a little bit more. So we got our nature journal, and I think we'll just fold it up like that, and then it will just stick in here as its own separate little piece, or we could even put it in there like that. That's fun. Or you could just set it on top, or the same goes the back. Some of these don't have pockets. This one just happens to have pockets. Hopefully I'm still in. Whoa. Try to bring you in a little bit more. There we go. But I think I like it in there. I'll let it sit there a little bit and see if I feel like I need to add anything to it. But I think we did it. I think we did good. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Check out Alison Bomber's page. I'll link it below, or her channel. And also Liz's at Buttons for Brains, because she does amazing work all the time. And that's it. We did it. I'll see you next time.